Yes, I hope you are doing well. We want to look at Potiphar's wife. You all know the story about this unknown woman. All we know about her, in order to identify her, is that she was Potiphar's wife. That's all. She didn't have a name. And up to today, she doesn't have a name. She's Potiphar's wife. We want to look at why she will stoop so low to go after Joseph. Why will a woman be married to a man like Potiphar, who is supposed to be rich, who is supposed to be a certain kind of important person in Egypt? If he could buy a whole human being, he could buy Joseph. It means he should be rich. He's not poor. So I think that we really have to go deeper, delve deeper, and look at the situation very well. You see, over the years, we have been quick to just write people off. We have been quick. Oh, she was Potiphar's wife. She doesn't even have a name. She was trying to sleep around. It's possible that wasn't her first time. She was trying to rape Joseph. It's possible that wasn't her first time. It's possible there were other young guys who accepted the proposal. It's possible we only heard of her when Joseph refused her offer. So we want to go deeper and read about Potiphar's wife and analyze her personality and ask questions. Why will a married woman stoop so low to want to sleep with a slave who has been bought by her own husband? You know, it's very difficult for a woman to have an affair outside marriage. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It does. But it's not very common. You know, it's more common for men to have extramarital affairs. I mean, it's very common. It's not common for women to sleep outside their marriages. So let's sit down and I want to call it the meetup with our mothers. We wish Potiphar's wife will be here with us. So we'll have a drink or two with her and ask her, Madam, what was your problem? What was your issue? I'm a woman. You know, women, we like soft lives. That's why a lot of women who want to date or marry poor men. We want to marry rich men. And we can see if Potiphar was able to afford to buy a slave, it means he was rich. And Bible says the whole household, Potiphar gave his whole household to Joseph to take care of. So what it means is that Potiphar was not a poor man. He was not a poor man at all. He was not a poor man. Genesis chapter 39, verse 1. Now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt. Potiphar, an Egyptian who was one of Pharaoh's officials. He was one of Pharaoh's officials. And for you to be an official of Pharaoh, it's an important position. It's not a common position at all. It was very important. He was the captain of the guard. Hallelujah. Potiphar was the captain of the guard. Master, he has money. He should be a rich person. He bought Joseph from the Ishmaelites. And like I keep saying, for him to buy, for him to be able to buy, for him to afford to buy a human being, he must have been rich. Because it's not everybody who buys slaves. Hallelujah. Now let's look at verse 2. Yeah. The Lord was with Joseph so that he prospered, and he lived in the house of his Egyptian master. When his master saw that the Lord was with him, and the Lord gave him success in everything he did, Joseph found favor in his eyes and became his attendant. It means Joseph quickly rose from being a slave to becoming an attendant. Potiphar put him in charge of his household, and he entrusted to his care everything he owned. So Joseph rose up to be an attendant, and he was controlling everything Potiphar owned. If Potiphar didn't own a lot, why would he need an attendant to look over his house? He must be rich. Hallelujah. From that time, he put him in charge of his household and all. So Joseph was in charge of everything. Hallelujah. And the blessing of the Lord was on everything Potiphar had. Can you imagine? So now, apart from having Joseph as his attendant, he also had the favor of God, the blessing of God. So now Potiphar was actually, best king in a lot of wealth. Hallelujah. So Potiphar left everything he had in Joseph's care, with Joseph in charge. He did not concern himself with anything except the food he ate. Hallelujah. Then the story continues. Now Joseph was well built and handsome, and after a while his master's wife took notice of Joseph and said, "Come to bed with me." Hallelujah. Now, let me skip to verse 9. He refuses and he says, "No one is greater in this house than I am. My master has withheld nothing from me except you, because you are his wife. How then can I do such a wicked thing and sin against God?" Hallelujah. That is a story for another day. I think I've ever made a video on what Joseph said. But today we want to look at Potiphar's wife. What will make a woman married to an important man like Potiphar? What will make her go low to want to have sex, to want to sleep with the attendant that has been brought? This person was not even an Egyptian. Joseph was a slave from Israel. He was bought. I mean, you are a woman. Look at these house helps. How attractive are they? These house, the boys they call house boy. How attractive is he? But for you to have an interest in this guy, look, there's a lot to the story. And I'm here for us to delve deeper. Hallelujah. That is all we are going to read about in the Bible. But have we paused to ask, as a wife, you are supposed to be having sex with your husband. I mean, if you don't have enough sex, just ask your husband for more. Why would you wait for him to leave and want to have sex with the attendant? Number one. Maybe Potiphar was too busy. He was an important person in Egypt. He was one of Pharaoh's officials. Maybe he was an MP. Maybe he was a minister of state. Yes, maybe he was the minister of finance. Maybe he was the minister of agriculture. He was an important person. He did not have time. Maybe he didn't have time to fellowship with his wife. He was so busy that he will come home, have a few hours of sleep, and then he wants to dash back to work. He was so busy he won't have time to sit down with his wife and have a chat. He will come home, he will do whatever, but there was no passionate relationship, fellowship with the wife. The wife was hungry for fellowship. The wife needed somebody to sit with and chat with. When Potiphar goes to work, what does the wife do? She'll just be at home. That is, if she was a housewife, we don't know. All we know about her is that she was Potiphar's wife. The Bible didn't waste time to tell us anything about her, whether she was a working woman, nothing. All we know is she was Potiphar's wife. She wasn't that important. Some of us in our marriages, our only identity is that we are husbands' wives. That is all. If somebody wants to describe us, all they can say about us is that we are our husband's wives. Hallelujah. That is why I keep saying that as a woman, as a wife, you should do something for yourself. Get to the job and build a life for yourself. How can you just say Potiphar's wife? What does she do in life? What is her profession? Is she a teacher? Is she a librarian? Is she a nurse? Is she a doctor? She's nothing. All we are told is she's Potiphar's wife. That should even tell us that the woman was buried in the life of the husband. We couldn't see the woman. When we want to see her, we have to see the man before we say that she is the man's wife. She didn't have a life. Potiphar's wife was thirsty for a relationship. She was hungry for touches. She needed somebody to, be with her. Because the husband is not available. The husband is not around. The husband is an important person in Egypt. His work is important, so he's always on the move. Going to sort out national issues, performing national duties, taking care of national interests. He was absent in the house. So Potiphar's wife needed somebody to relate with. Hallelujah. It's so pathetic. We just write her off. Potiphar's wife, that's all. I'm sure the husband didn't have time for her. She was nothing. She was a nobody. She had nothing going. She was an idle woman. So when the husband goes off to work, she had nothing doing. Because if she was a professional and she had to get ready to go out and perform duties, she wouldn't have time to be lusting after that Hebrew boy. Let's face it. Some of us wives have too much time on our hands. We don't do anything. And Bible says the devil finds work for the idle ones. Bible says we shouldn't eat the bread of idleness. We shouldn't be idle. We should have something going on. Hallelujah. So Potiphar's wife, you had nothing doing. You were too free in life. That is why personally, when I'm there and I'm not doing anything, I just don't, I always want to be doing something. I'm always doing new things. And fortunately, unfortunately, I'm a choleric. So, cholerics, we are projects oriented. We always want to do something. I always want to do something. I cannot be there and I don't have an agenda. I am achievement oriented. I want to always do something. I'm done with this. I have to get to a new thing. So, wives, let's get to the job. Find something doing. Don't be idle. Hallelujah. So Potiphar didn't have time. Potiphar was busy. As for that one, we can read it. If it's one man of God said, if it's not explicitly stated in the Bible, it is implicit. Hallelujah. Potiphar was a busy person. So the wife was just there. He didn't have time. He would come home, he's tired, and he would just go to sleep. If he wants to have sex, you know how it is. He just wants to put his penis in the wife's vagina 2-3 minutes and then he's gone. He's sleepy and the wife will be there. Thirsting for more emotional attachments. Hallelujah. And a lot of wives will understand what I'm saying. Number 2, if Potiphar's wife had enough sex, she won't be chasing Joseph for sex. You see, a lot of the times, most people, especially pastors, they want to dwell richly on the wife's duties. But they have forgotten that the husband also has duties to perform to the wife. Yes, a wife's duty is to cook, take care of the children, take care of the house, as for the wife's duties, everybody knows. But what is a husband's duty? Mostly we don't talk about the man's duty because he's the head of the house, so nothing much is said about it. But the husband has duties to perform. And one of such duties is to be a provider. You don't only provide money and food for the house. The husband is supposed to provide sex. As for this one, it is a no-go area. We don't talk about it though. It is only the woman who should provide sex. Yes, but we don't say that the man should also provide sex for the woman. We don't talk about, most people don't talk about it. Most bishops don't talk about it. Most pastors don't talk about it. Most counselors don't talk about it. And I have seen with my eyes wives thirsty and hungry for sex going outside their marriages to look for sex because their husbands don't provide sex. Hallelujah. Yes, if nobody will say it's me, I'll say it. Sex to a man may be very different from sex to a woman. Sex to a man may just be to put the penis in the wife's vagina for a few minutes and that may be it. But for a woman, sex goes beyond the entrance of the penis into the vagina. Sex to the man may just be a physical connection or a physical activity. But to the woman, sex is an emotional venture. That is why mostly if a woman doesn't love you, she will not have sex with you. A man can have sex with you 1,000 times without loving you. So when it comes to sex, women need a certain kind of emotional connection. Hallelujah. Women need a certain kind of emotional attachment to the sexual activity. So you are a man and you just come and you just do whatever, and then you reach orgasm and you fall off and sleep. And the woman is there. A friend of mine will say the woman will be counting the ceiling. Hallelujah. And the woman will be there. It's so sad and pathetic that nobody is talking for women. Nobody is talking for women till the women go outside of the marriage to have sex, and then it becomes an issue. When a man goes outside the marriage to have sex with anybody, mostly it is not an issue. Mostly it doesn't bring the marriage to an end. But let a wife make the mistake of going outside to, or the moment we get to know, it's an issue. And most men cannot forgive it. Yes, 99% of men cannot handle it when their wives go outside. I'm surprised the Bible didn't say anything about Potiphar's wife when the issue came up. That is why she lied that it was Joseph who was coming after her. If the issue had been, or if she had been exposed that she was the one coming after Joseph, I'm sure that would have been the end. So Joseph, being a good man, might not have said anything. And unfortunately, her robes were left in the woman. I'm just saying, if it had been discovered then that she was the one who went on to Joseph, that would have been the end of the marriage. But are we asking, what was her problem? Maybe she was not having enough affectionate sex from the husband. The husband was not providing sex, so she hungered for sex. I think we have to be fair to everybody. We have to analyze everybody's situation, not just writing them off. It is very unfair. So we have looked at two issues. The third one may be that Potiphar himself was engaging in extramarital affairs. And his wife might have complained severally, and he wasn't stopping. So she decided to also be a part of it. If my husband is cheating, let me also cheat with the attendant. After all, he's guy, he's dope, he's nice, he's neat. So these are three issues. The husband may be so busy. The husband was not providing enough sex. Or the husband was cheating. So she also wanted to cheat. These are issues we have to always be looking at. Not just writing people off. Like I said, I know women who have gone outside their marriages to have sex with people. And as I analyze their situation, it is one of these three. I remember one lady kept telling me, my husband doesn't know how to have sex, my husband, and we would laugh with it, and we would just not knowing it was an issue that was eating her. And eventually, she couldn't handle it anymore. She had to go and sleep with somebody outside the marriage. Who is listening to us? Who is listening to women? There are lots of Potiphar's wives out there, and nobody is addressing their issues. And they are sitting on time bombs. And you will one day hear that they have gone to have sex outside. and that will be the end of the marriage. Who is speaking for us? Which man of God is talking for wives? Which pastor, which bishop is campaigning that men should be emotionally available for their husbands? Nobody is saying anything. Then when the wives go and have affairs, then it becomes a problem. I think we can see Potiphar's wife in another light from now on. I think we'll be sympathetic with her. We will understand her. There may be other issues, but I think these three are enough. Hallelujah. Let's be very merciful when we are talking about people. Hallelujah. From now, you won't see Potiphar's wife as an evil person. She had her issues, and nobody was talking about it. Nobody was helping her. Nobody was listening to her. So she made an attempt on Joseph. Hallelujah. And like I said, it's possible she was doing it with other attendants in the house who were okay with it, who were not running away from it. And I am sure there are wives, several wives, who are having affairs behind their husbands, and it will never be found out. But if our husbands will listen to us, if they will attach emotional affections to us, if our husbands will understand that sex is more emotional for women, not only physical, I think that our marriages will be more secured.